smorgasbord of information from RecallGavin2020.com in a tasty, non-caloric, gluten-free bite. It's Friday night at the French Laundry with Chef Oren Heatley, maitre d' Mike Netter, and head cashier Randy Economy.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome, California, all the way from the international border up to Oregon. It's Friday nights at the French Laundry.
You didn't let the music play.
They got me live.
Yeah, it's the mamas and papas.
I know that, but I'm breaking
California
right in.
dreaming.
I'm accompanied tonight by Randy Economy and Oren's out scouting for food. And so tonight we have cookie in the kitchen, Eric Early. Say hi, Eric.
Hey guys, great to be with you again.
Oh
Love
no,
being
Eric's here. You know he's whipping up some Thai food tonight for us. Did you know that?
That
I
sounds
heard.
good.
He's whipping it up.
That's the first I heard of it. I'm looking forward to doing that.
And you know what else we're
Pad
whipping
Thai
up as
noodles
always
for
is
you,
the
bro.
main cuisine, as you know, is California politics. But our real entree is the cooking and recall of Gavin Newsom. And I want to start tonight's show a little bit. Everybody's out there going, what's happening now? What's going to happen in the future of California? We've got a lot to cover in the show tonight, but for everybody out there who's tuning in, let me explain. We have turned in you, the people of California, gathered by the people, volunteers, and associated with others. Over 2.1 million signatures have been turned in to 58 county registers.
Amazing.
2.175,000.
To be exact. Thank you for the
count.
applause. Thank you. Thank
That's
you very
amazing.
much. Now, what is happening now is the county registers, the individual register officers are going through verifying them. They have already accepted that they have to fact 1.5 million. The next report will show the 2 million. They've already verified 1.1 million in change even, meaning Gavin, whether you like it or not, if you're listening, this is happening. And Gavin's a bit shaky about that. We'll get into that
You know
later in the show.
he's listening.
I hope he's listening.
Mike Netter, he is obsessed with us.
He is. It seems a little bit weird.
It's a little creepy.
But before we go into Gavin's obsession here, Gavin apparently isn't fully aware of what the process is. So I'm told, and I know we have a new Secretary of State. We may have a new Attorney General. We're going to get all to this in our 2-hour show today, which, by the way, we welcome calls at 1-800-222-5222. Warren normally does the other part, but he's on here tonight. I didn't cue Eric. So here's what's happening. The state of California has till April 29th, and they'll probably take that much time to admit, basically at this point, that they have the number of signatures to trigger a recall election. So mark your calendar. Within 30 to 60 days after that, our rapidly moving Democratic-led state legislature will certify that they can find the 80 to 100 million. Maybe they'll borrow it from the EDD to have the election.
EDD?
That
Wait a minute, hold on.
That's our cashier ringing it up.
Don't try and figure that out, Randy.
I'm sorry.
I don't know where you want to go with that, but
EDD.
it's the wrong place.
Employment Development Division.
Thank you, Eric, for cooking that up tonight
Just
and bailing
clarifying
me out.
to our fabulous.
So, what that means then, folks, is then within Shirley Weber has to call an election within 80 to 100 days after that. That means that there will be an election taking place in the early fall. Somewhere in that range. And the way the election works is this. And I'm going to repeat this over and over again because we've been successful, but a lot of people, even members of the illustrious media, seem a little bit confused. Let me explain again. Here's what happens. After we go through, they're verified. We have enough. It's official. It's on the ballot, April 29th. 30 to 60 days saying, do we have the money? Oh, look, we do. Shocking. And by the way, now that I'm thinking about it, the federal government, Nancy Pelosi, thank you for giving us the money to recall your former nephew. I really appreciate that.
Did you see what she was talking? She was talking smack about us today.
She was. We'll get
really?
to
What's up with
that.
her?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
Oh,
Randy.
yeah. No,
yeah.
we got the goods on her. Oh.
But then what's going to happen is the ballot comes out. And you are going to vote whether or not you want Gavin Newsom to be removed as governor?
Yes or
yes,
no?
Thank you. Yes or no? It's a simple question. For those of you out there who don't know, do you want Gavin to be removed? I'm voting yes. Eric, how are you voting?
I'm voting a resounding yes on question 1.
Randy, how are you voting?
I'm going to vote yes.
Okay. And what we need is 50% of the people in that election to vote yes. And when you vote yes, you will then pick from a plethora of other candidates. Once that yes vote on the same ballot hits that 50%, the candidate getting the largest number of votes after that becomes governor.
Let me just jump in there, Mike. So if there are more yeses than nos,
Yes.
then Newsom is automatically gone.
Correct.
He's gone.
He's
Correct.
And
check,
then,
please. Check, please.
and yes, whoever gets the most votes in question number 2 is the governor.
Yes.
Check, please.
Okay.
So we have to get as many yeses as possible.
Which is the objective of Recall Gavin 2020 for the next 4 months. People keep asking us, all you volunteers, and by the way, God bless all you people out there. I've always said it's a fantastic journey. Look, our objective for the next few months, for the next 4 months at recallgavin2020.com, the official petition holders, those of us that started and continue this movement, is to make sure that enough people in California understand why you need to vote yes. And understand that's why we continue to say we need donations, we need this radio platform, we need the press, we need everybody to start exploring the deeper reasons about Gavin and why he needs to go.
And Mike, let me jump in there a second. This is Eric. One of the sort of devious things about what happens in a recall election is my understanding that Newsom, because he's up to be recalled, he gets to raise money without campaign limits.
No limitations whatsoever.
Which is not good. And yet the candidates who are running in question 2 are subject to campaign limits. And frankly, I think that's one of the many reasons Newsom is issuing these billion-dollar no-bid contracts. to people.
The other thing, too, Eric, you got to remember he's running against himself.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I get the whole thing in regards to campaign limitations for the people running for governor. But I also understand the fact, too, that he's going to spend probably $300 million at least.
Ooh, really?
At least $300 million he's going to have to keep his job. I would think probably more than that, truth be known. That's a lot of tips, Mike, here at the French Laundry.
It's a lot
That
of
is a
tips
lot
at the
of
French
tips.
Laundry.
Yeah.
But here's what I find really interesting. And for a last guy who's named Economy, you should understand this.
It's the economy, stupid.
Okay? Here's what really kind of makes me a little bit ill. This recall that nobody said was going to get done, there's no way a bunch of average citizens of all diversity are going to unite Californians.
We're not going to have a former sheriff from Yolo County.
Right.
He doesn't know anything about
A
politics.
real estate agent, other people
a
get
marketing
together.
guy from Covina.
It's got to be run by some kind of secret group. Let me tell you, the people of California are going to take their state back. Now, I'll tell you what made me a little ill, an article you sent me today, Randy.
Which one was that?
Well, the one on how you make salads, but that's a different one. That's not the one I'm talking about. What made me a little ill was this. A bunch of tech giants have come out and said, look, we're the tech giants. We control Facebook. We control Twitter. We control Google. We are heirs of the Apple fortune, and we support Gavin Newsom, and we may put money into his campaign.
How much more money can they put in?
Well,
These guys are like, there's 75, billionaires that came out today?
Yeah.
These tech guys? We have like $12 in our account, right?
No, 13. I put another buck in today. Now, actually, 11, about a soda.
Seriously, we've done this for like chicken feed, Mike.
We have, and this is the part that we're not going to let. This is the part we really need to get across to the people. People of California, don't be fooled by big money and big politics. And by the way, that's both sides of the aisle, all right?
Yeah.
It's the people of California and recallgavin2020.com. The people in everywhere that we go, in every city, the small person that are going to take this state back.
And Mike, I'll tell you, that's one of the reasons I'm so honored to be, on your show and working with you guys, because we have never seen anything like this in the history of this country. 2 million signatures, a recall effort not backed by some huge big dollar person. This was purely we the people.
Do you know what I like what Mike
Nobody
Nader always
was
says?
expecting this. You guys came out of nowhere. These politicos of both parties are still scratching their heads and saying, who the heck is Orrin Heatley and Mike Netters? And some of them know Randy, but a lot of them are scratching their heads saying how he's doing so well. And these guys are changing political history, and it's an amazing, amazing thing. And it's all because of all you great people out there listening and all around our great state of California. It's an amazing thing.
The one thing I love about Mike Netter is, when has anybody gotten 2,100,000 of anything here?
Well, that's
ever?
very true.
Including on a petition.
And nobody out there discount how difficult it has been to get done, how much sweat and equity the people put in. Listen, we're going to roll the break. Before we do, we're going to go to have Joe Collins right after the break.
Joltin' Joe.
Joltin' Joe has been a major, major factor in putting together the road trip up and down California. We want to hear what Joe has to say. Joe is an amazing person, and stay tuned for the people we have tonight talking about the little people. It is Friday nights at the French Laundry, KABC 790. Give us a call.
Just say it wasn't you. All right. Border came in and they call me red-handed, eating at the place next door. Were there a lot of people there? Picture this, it was not that vacant, like 100 peeps or more. How could I forget that I had Vandalindo gatherings? Just a prime example of a really big hypocrisy. You don't understand what...
KABC, dependable traffic right now. 10 freeway eastbound near Garfield Avenue. There earlier was a crash in the right lane. Looks like that's still right side. And with that outside lane blocked, eastbound 10 extra slow go from the East LA interchange. Truck crash earlier on the 710 freeway southbound at the 405 freeway connector in Long Beach. Look for a little bit of extra congestion southbound side of the 710 heading toward the Long Beach harbor. And on the 605 freeway southbound near Telegraph Road, earlier some large debris in the road. CHP still talking about the possibility of a traffic break, so extra caution needed if you're heading that way now. That's dependable traffic. I'm Richard Turnage, AM 790 KABC.
Hey, Gary.
At ASML, our machines build smarter,
smaller, faster computer chip technology, impacting almost every aspect of human life.
We're building one big machine with 4,000 engineers, redefining the boundaries of what you can do technologically.
From idea creation, design, supply chain management, manufacturing, logistics. We do it all right here on this campus.
Now we need people that are willing to pick up the torch and continue to solve the hardest problems that we've been facing.
Start your career today. Visit asml.com/US.
Del Monte Veggieful Pocket Pies are pocket sandwiches that provide a delicious and unexpected way to eat vegetables. Baked to perfection in a golden crust made with cauliflower, Veggieful Pocket Pies are filled with nutritious vegetables and real cheese. Convenient and better for you. Just heat and eat. These wholesome meatless snacks come in 4 exciting flavors with 1 serving of veggies and 9 to 11 grams of protein per pocket pie. Get Veggieful Pocket Pies at your local Rayleigh's.
You've only had an appetizer. This is your Friday night at the French Laundry with Chef Orrin Heatley, maitre d' Mike Netter, and head cashier Randy Economy.
You can talk about Pelosi, you can talk about... Welcome back, my friends. The virtual restaurant, the cuisine is always California politics, and the main entree is the recall of Gavin Newsom. Wait. We understand we have a special guest on table number 1. It is a man that is very extraordinary. Welcome to our restaurant, Joe Collins.
What's up, guys?
What's
up, guys? How are you?
What's going on, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
Nothing. Just landed in Arizona.
Joe C.
Man, you get around, man.
You do,
we got to
Joe.
put that work in. I mean, somebody got to deliver the black vote to the GOP.
That's it, bro.
I figured I'd go ahead and take that responsibility.
Wait a minute,
Joe, you're the hardest working man in showbiz.
Wait a minute,
man.
My bad, guys. My bad. A long time ago. You know what it is? It's just like a lot of people want to be a part of the Republican Party, but they don't want to be a part of the way that the Republican Party is portrayed. And so I think that when a lot of people see us and, you know, especially the Mikes, the Erics, the Joes, the different types of diversity that we have in the party, it kind of influences people in a positive manner to be able to want to join. And so we just have to go out there and go find those people and then bring them in slowly.
And Joe, tell us how you're doing that. I mean, before we did the recall road trip with you, which I got to tell you, my friend, was that was amazing. I mean, the diversity we had and just the tour going to, I think we went to a total of 12 or 14 cities. I lost track after a while. Tell us how you're going around the state and literally bringing people together, and I mean that sincerely, Joe, because it's kind of amazing what you've done and what you're doing right now. I mean, you're in Arizona, which I'm pretty sure you don't get any congressional votes for, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I think for the recall, that was a we thing that we all did. I called you and we called some other people, and we just did it. I can't even tell you how. We just did it. We set the stops up. We got everything together to advertise on the radio, the TV. We just made it happen. And but here in Arizona, there are people who launch in congressional races, and I'm gonna support them out Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Georgia, Texas, New York, Florida. We got to go get those votes, man. We can't just sit back and expect people to come give the votes to us, especially with the media. The media is controlled by the left, and it's ridiculous.
So true, Joe. So true.
Now, Eric, you ran for Congress against Schiff, and Joe, you ran against someone, I believe. It's hard for me to say. I'll let you say it. We know who you ran against. I just can't say it on the air, Joe. The FCC might ban me. But when you guys talk about the difficulty with the media, why does the media have such a perception for Eric and Joe? I want to start with you against portraying, I'm going to say it, God help me, Maxine Waters as such a hero of the people.
They did the same thing for the reprobate, the pathological liar that I ran against.
Yeah, and Schiff.
You got it. Joe,
they'll cover when they get on the air. They'll cover that everything that they say and try to make it as though they're doing this genuine effort to help the American people. When they mess up, they will never say it. Like Adam Schiff completely lied. They never came out and said Adam Schiff lied and covered that the same way they did when they was trying to, portray him and how he was doing this glorious work of impeaching the president, which is, I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Before a conservative, like you got to put hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get on TV.
Yep. Yeah, the only way a reprobate like an Adam Schiff, and he is a pathological, sick human being. I never had an ounce of...
Tell us how you really feel.
I never had an ounce of respect for the guy, and I still don't. And the only way he was able to get away with his 2-year Russia hoax and the impeachment sham and the whole thing is because he has the mainstream media just right behind him. Anything he says, they think is heroic because they all hated Trump. And, going against somebody like that is... it's tough when you have these places like the Los Angeles Times, for example. It's pathetic. They're all one-sided. And if anybody has a conservative point of view that works at the LA Times, they'll be out of there in a day. There's no doubt in my mind. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're dealing with. But the worm is slowly turning. And thanks in large part to the people of California. I'm telling you, what has happened in this movement, led by these guys who I'm sitting here with now, plus Orrin and the thousands of volunteers of blood, sweat, and tears around this state, the mainstream medias have to take notice and say, wait a second, something's going on out there. And you guys, we're even getting good PR in many instances for this recall, which is amazing. And it's because you have forced them to wake up.
We're getting great press, Joe.
Well, Randy, you've done an amazing job.
Well, Joe's done an amazing job too for what he's done. Everybody is pitching in, right, Joe?
You know what the media didn't cover?
What?
The media didn't cover when Eric tore Adam up in that debate.
You were there, Joe.
Didn't even cover that.
I tore him 14 new ones.
And I was Eric's senior advisor for that campaign, and we couldn't even get the media to go out and do anything against Adam.
Yep. Well, one thing, too, that the media didn't cover, Joe, and I got to tell you, one of the best videos of the campaign was you in front of Maxine Waters' mansion, which isn't even in her district, right? I mean, and what's really amazing, what Joe Collins and Eric and what the recall did was get out amongst the people and talk to the people. And Joe, you're continuing to do that, right? I mean, you're in Arizona now, I'm assuming not... playing golf, right? You're out there doing community work. Tell us about some of the community work that you do constantly in LA.
That was the food drives and everything that we did throughout the campaign. But I'm terrible at golf. I remember one time I tried to golf when I was in the Navy, and I hit a divot with a driver, and the driver head went further than the golf ball. I'm a terrible. That's why I stick to just talking to people, because I can't golf.
Why, Joe? Why is that? I don't understand. You're like a little stud, man. Come on, you think you could hit that ball, babe? Come on, Joe.
Joe, I'll tell you something. Emerald and I, Joe knows my wife, Emerald. We have so much respect for you because Joe has one of these indomitable personalities. He will not be stopped. He will not be brought down. He will keep going until he gets where he's going and what he's getting for all of us. And Joe, we respect you tremendously for that.
Love you, man.
Tremendously.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, know Joe pretty well, but and Joe, I'm not going to tell the story of, you know where I'm going with this, right? The amazing thing that you did for that 12-year-old. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to put it out on the air, but there were 25 people around a table after we're San Francisco. What am I saying? Which, by the way, was an incredible event just for the fabric and diversity and wonderfulness of it. And I got to tell you, anybody out there, if you put two people in the room and they're Joe Collins and Maxine Waters, and how you would look at Maxine Waters and possibly throw your support instead of around Joe Collins. Joe, and I mean sincerely, and I want to say it's on the air. You did a lot of great things on that road trip, but what you did that one night helping Lucky, that just was unbelievable, dude. I mean,
Lucky's a good kid.
He's an amazing kid. And I'm afraid he's going to take my stage time away from me soon, Joe. Don't invite him again, okay?
He's 12 years old.
I know.
He's 12, going on like 30.
He just popped up out of nowhere, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to be with you guys the whole time. I'm like, you probably want to go ask your mom, because I don't really coordinate with children. And then his mom called me, and I'm like, I didn't say that. I'm like, I didn't tell him he was going to be with us. He was like, yeah, Lucky said that he's going to be with you guys the whole trip. I'm like, maybe Cordy said it or Mike said it, but he just ended up being with us, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Cordy.
And by the way, I'm going to tell part of the story here because we didn't even plan this tonight.
Tell the story, Mike. Come on, man.
So Angela Marston, who's our next guest, the Pineapple Grill, right? On her own to speak at the Joe Collins Tour up and down the coast, and she's a small business owner, drove Lucky and his mom up to San Francisco. And while they were in San Francisco, Angela's car got the window shattered and all Lucky's stuff got stolen along with Angela's stuff. All right? And I didn't even plan the show that way. It just kind of, we've got both people on here. Lucky, who is an amazing 12-year-old, and it's too bad he can't run for governor yet because he would get my vote, literally got everything that he had with him on the trip stolen. And Joe and his team, we went to dinner that night, got back for Lucky everything. And I don't mean they got it back, the stuff that got stolen, but they literally went out, and Joe won't tell this story, and got Lucky a new bag, new clothes, new pairs of tennis shoes, a new computer. And that kid, who is a fantastic public speaker, and I think the 40 people around the table that night, literally, I got to tell you, that was one of the most heart-touching things that I ever saw.
I will never forget that moment. And I'm a pretty tough pirate. And I will never. I'm getting choked up even thinking about it.
And what's really interesting, the truth of the story is not just what Joe did, but the more I'm thinking about it on the air, that Angela, on her own dime, guys, this isn't sponsored by anybody, drove to San Francisco to speak at this event about the recall that Joe helped us put together. Her car got broken into. She drove a 12-year-old and his mom up there so the 12-year-old could speak how he felt about being kept out of school at this event. And Joe, I got to tell you that was just amazing.
Mike, that absolutely was.
So her car got broken into up there?
Yeah, the window got broken into.
You have to always consider that you have had a lucky day if you can drive your car to San Francisco and not make it out of there without your car being broken into. Which is the result of AB 47.
Well, it's a result of Gavin Newsom did that.
Joe?
Criminal's paradise.
We might want to let Joe talk since he's our guest.
Hi,
but
Joe.
Joe knows that's really difficult to do when we're... Okay, do we have 2 minutes left?
Lucky's a good kid. He didn't deserve to have his thing stolen. So that was from all of us. So that was a gift from all of us, not just me. We talked about it. We went to go get the stuff, and I mean, he deserves it. You know what I'm saying? He deserves it.
Joe,
beautiful job, man.
We appreciate the work you're doing. We appreciate you running for Congress again against Maxine Waters and continuing to improve your district. We know you support the recall and a new governor. Before your time runs out in the air, because we got about a minute left, tell people how they can find Joe Collins. And before I let you speak again, Joe, how can they get those really cool tennis shoes?
Oh, yeah.
You can find me at joecollinsforcongress.com. Or you can just, maybe throw a coin out the window. You might hit me. I'm all over the place. But my store is thecollinsstore.org. It's up. You'll see it on the website. Go to joecollinsforcongress.com. The store is up. It's running. All the information is on there.
He has his own store.
That's incredible, Joe.
We need a store.
Let me tell you what. Joe is going to help us with Eric take back L.A. along with a lot of people. So recalling Gavin is the first thing.
Joe, keep doing your magic,
the
man.
first step. Keep doing it, Joe. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you again soon, my friend. All right? Enjoy Arizona.
All right, God bless you guys. Thank you.
Okay. Everybody out there, call in 1-800-222-5222. It's Friday nights at the French Laundry, KABC, up and down the coast, recalling Gavin Newsom.
Eating at the place next door. Were there a lot of people there? Picture this, it was not that vacant. Like 100 peeps or more. How could I forget that I had Bandolindo gatherings? Just a prime example of a really big hypocrisy.
AM 790.
KABC.
KABC News at 7:30. I'm Sharon Reardon. Happy Friday. The decision to close the park and clear out the encampment sparked protests Wednesday and yesterday in the Echo Park area.
It follows several days of tense and sometimes violent clashes between activists and Los Angeles police. Dozens were arrested after the LAPD issued a failure to disperse order during Thursday night and Friday morning's protests. Officers used multiple rounds of less lethal projectiles. Several journalists covering the story were temporarily detained. Mayor Eric Garcetti and City Councilman Mitch O'Farrell support the park's clear out so repairs can be made and homeless residents can get hotel rooms. City Councilman Mike Bonin is criticizing the sweep. Kevin Tripp, KABC News.
Tennessee is the latest state to enact legislation targeting transgender student athletes. Governor Bill Lee signed the law today requiring students prove their sex at birth in order to compete. Lee insists its purpose is to preserve women's athletics and ensure fair competition. It applies to middle and high school sports. The markets closed in the green.
Essential workers are the foundation of our economy. Our families and communities depend on them. If you're concerned about your safety at work due to COVID-19, take action. Learn your rights. Visit dir.ca.gov/COVID.
News sponsored by the California Labor and Workforce Development Agency. KABC SoCal weather. Clear skies tonight, lows in the mid-40s to around 50. Sunny tomorrow with highs in the upper 60s to around 70 at the beaches. 70s to 80s for the inland and valley areas. Currently it's 60 degrees in Brea, 62 in Burbank, and it's 59 degrees in Brentwood. The 25K weekday payday is back on 790 KABC starting Thursday. Listen every hour weekdays between 8 a.m. and 5:30 for your shot at $100, possibly $25,000 right here on 790 KABC. Traffic is next and then more Friday night at the French Laundry.
Continuing SIG alert in the Long Beach area, 710 freeway southbound, connector to the 405 freeway southbound. Accident a little bit earlier. Looks like that connector is still at least partially shut down, and traffic a little bit extra slow through that stretch as a result. 605 freeway southbound at Telegraph Road, accident right side. CHP has been on scene there. Third lane from the center divider blocked initially. 405 freeway northbound at Wilmington Avenue. Some sort of large debris still reported third lane. CHP is talking about a traffic break. Use extra caution if you're heading that way. And that's dependable traffic. I'm Richard Turnage, AM 790 KABC.
Today, with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
At Stanza International Academy, flexible but rigorous education that suits your students' unique schedule and learning style. One-on-one guidance from instructors with prestigious educational backgrounds, combined with regular meetings to keep you up to date on your students' progress, ensures your student is getting exactly what they need to excel in their education and beyond. Stanza International Academy. Learn, lead, achieve.
It's Friday night at the French Laundry. On the menu tonight, a better California with executive chef Orrin Heatley, maitre d' Mike Netter, and the wise cashier Randy Economy.
Welcome back, everybody, to our virtual restaurant. The cuisine is always California politics, the main entree being the recall of Gavin Newsom. Look, I want to dispel a couple rumors that have been running around right now.
What are they? What are the rumors? There's rumors?
That Gavin Newsom has kidnapped Orrin Heatley, and that's why he's not in the show tonight. Orrin is actually speaking at another event tonight, which is why I brought in Eric. Eric is a fine political cook.
Thank you very much, guys. Love being with
Orrin,
you.
Eric's a good cook.
I'm scraping up those pad thai noodles for you right now,
Pad
Randy.
thai. We're having some pad thai. That's right. And I want to we'll take a couple callers here, a couple of our locals here in a second, but we want to do there's a lot to talk about. When we talk about California politics here, we all have our passions, and I want to speak out right now to Gavin Newsom.
Gavin.
Hello.
Hello, Gavin.
You're not running against the recall. For some reason, you seem to feel obligated to throw mud against the people of California, against calling us names, unsubstantiated. And Gavin, do you know you're not running against the mayor? We know you think you're good looking, but you're basically what we're asking you here. We're going to challenge you in a political buffet tonight where we talk about various subjects. We want to challenge you about talking about some of the things that you're really doing to make California better or haven't done, or doing things like in real estate to make California worse. And I think it's time, Gavin, that you started addressing those subjects. That's why you're being recalled. COVID just accelerated it. You're not being recalled because there's a big plot back in the kitchen that Eric's cooking up. Right, Eric?
That's right. Listen, Gavin Newsom is a low-intelligence Ken doll, and his time is coming. It's time to send the Ken doll back to Barbie, okay? Whoever Barbie is, by the way. There's some
low
questions
intelligence? What? Where did you come up with that? That was deep from deep in the kitchen.
I will tell you, he's so incompetent. Where do you want to start with his incompetence? Watching $31 billion of our money be taken on his watch? How about all of these business owners he destroyed? Total arrogance. I know so many great restaurant owners who are practically on their knees begging, give us some hope. Let us open something up. Refused to do it. Instead, what did they get? They'd get inspectors from the state, the city, and the county coming in and fining them. While in states like Texas and Florida and such, they were letting these people live and survive. It's a pure example of how this empty suit Ken doll hates the entrepreneurial spirit that helped build this great country. I could go on and on.
No, and it's scary, too. Even as some restaurants are allowed to open, we've got two major celebrations we're going to this weekend for the recalls. We have them in pockets, if you will. And the restaurant owners, not the one we're going to tomorrow night, Tony Roman, who's on record, is saying, hey, grow some cannolis.
Hey, cannoli boy.
All right? But owners of restaurants, cosmetology shops, have now been conditioned by Gavin with fear. Randy, wouldn't you say that's true?
Absolutely.
Because they're now afraid that the ABC or the police are going to come in. Real estate agents, and I'm one now, by the way. If you need to buy or sell a house, Mike Netter, I'm your guy.
MikeNetter.com.
Okay, quick commercial. I'm getting one in for free here. Real estate agents, we've now been conditioned. We can no longer show an open house. We've been conditioned that we have to have special forms. Everything is conditioned when you can get a home inspector. Gavin,
This is what they're all about: restrictions. Why do you think housing costs so much money in this state? Because to even build a house, what people have to go through to get through the red tape is tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands before you even start putting a nail into the wood. These are arrogant people. They really can't stand job creators in this state. And by natural extension, they can't stand the fact that people have jobs that are not created by the government. And it's a problem. It's a huge problem. And these are the reasons, some of the many reasons, why the incredible people of California said, you know what? We're done with you, Kendall. See ya.
That's also a reason we say we need to continue this fight at recallgavin2020.com. As we talk about our political buffet tonight, we're getting a lot of flack. A lot of big companies jump in and say, oh, we're going to put big money behind Gavin. He can run without a cap. In fact, what did his former aunt say today, Randy?
We're not really sure. It's sort of a former aunt.
It's kind
by
of
marriage. It's a weird thing.
Talking about the mafiosa.
I'm talking about the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi.
That's who the Speaker is?
Yeah, San Fran Nan. Did you ever know her name was San Fran Nan?
No, but
I love that. I love that. So Pelosi, they're doing a press conference, right? And what is she doing in their press conference, Mike? What does she do, Mike Netter?
Usually slurs her words, but outside of that?
No, she starts attacking the Recall Gavin 2020.
There you go.
In Washington, D.C. How dare she? But anyway, here's the deal. So she was sticking up for Newsom, her boy. I don't know the weird relationship between them, but it's just kind of bizarre. Anyway, so she's sticking up for him, and she tells basically that, no Democrats getting in this race. Tom Steyer, multi-billionaire, you ain't getting in this race. Even though you're like hinting around that you want to be the governor of California, every Democrat's going to stay out. Do you really believe that? Do you think listen, there's going to be 100 Democrats in this race by the time this thing's over with. So anyway, she goes off on us. She goes off on Mike Netter and Orrin Heatley and Randy Economy and everybody, the 2.2 million people who signed the petition, right? So she, takes us all on during her little press conference. So I fire back in Politico. Just let her happen. And here's what I say. Recall spokesperson Randy Economy fired back in an email that Pelosi needs to stay in her own lane. Nancy, time for you to stay in your own lane, girl. Noting that more than 2 million Californians have signed the recall petitions. The San Francisco political elite like to protect themselves and have no respect for the people of California during this historical recall, Economy said.
Great statement, Mr. Economy.
That's a great statement. And you know what? Something else that strikes me as weird.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So true, everything you just said.
But anyway, so she's now she's coming after us. Yeah, which I understand that. I get it. We're not low hanging fruit, Nancy. Okay, we're real people. We're 2.2 million of us. So when you come after Orrin Heatley and you come after Mike Netter and you come after Randy Economy or Eric Early or anybody else who is associated with the campaign, you're coming after all of us. We ain't going to play.
It shows that they are terrified, Randy.
They're scared to death.
There's one thing that this mafiosa Queen Pin Pelosi, that the Kendall, Newsom, all the rest of them, the pathological shift have never had to deal with, which is answer to the people.
Maybe
they think they could ignore all of us, and now they have to answer to the people thanks to the magic you guys have done.
Well,
and
maybe
all
this
your volunteers.
Maybe this
and
AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Maybe AOC's onto something with this Pelosi. Maybe she does need to go.
Well, you know what I find interesting now that I'm thinking about it is Newsom and his cronies were criticizing the Republican Party. And by the way, let's get real out there. The Republican Party in California, guys, we're not real effective, all right? They aren't real effective. We don't own a lot of state offices. But it's interesting how Newsom was able to criticize, oh, look, Huckabee and other people are coming into California, stay out of the state. But don't you find it fascinating that Pelosi is from California?
Sure.
But however, Bernie Sanders, right?
Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, but you know what she's going to do? Listen, she's going to be primaried.
Okay. All
Bianca Von Craig is going to take Nancy down.
Right.
Bianca Van Craig.
All these people out there are now flowing into California to back Newsom because let's face it, everybody out there, it's not about the people of California. I've said this over and over again. It's about the political power. And RecallGavin2020.com, we're giving the chance for the people of California to take the state back through a legal mechanism.
Exactly right, Mr. Netter, and that's why they don't know what to do. They've never seen this before. A Gavin Newsom has never had to deal with the people. He's always had a glide path to anything he wanted thanks to the mainstream media and his connections with the Pelosi's and the Getty family, everything. Never had to answer to the people. One of the great things we're seeing now is even the mainstream media is asking him tough questions. And even though he's been in politics his whole life, a total political hack, he can't handle it. It's so great to see him taking incoming, which he cannot handle because he's never had to.
Absolutely. And Gavin's running scared, and all he can do is call us names. Look, we're going to roll the break, get to two callers and get to Angela, who you got to listen to Angela from the Pineapple Grill. If you haven't seen what she's done on social media and what she's done for us, it's amazing. It's Friday nights at the French Laundry on KABC 790, up and down the coast, all over California, 1-800-222-5222.
Just say it wasn't you. All right. Voter came in and they call me red-handed, eating at the place next door. Were there a lot of people there? Picture this, it was not that vacant, like 100 peeps or more. How could I forget that I had Vandalindo gatherings? Just a prime example of a really big hypocrisy.
KABC dependable traffic right now, getting rid of an accident, 10 freeway westbound, right around Santa Anita Avenue. 3 cars involved. Right side of the freeway is reportedly affected. On the 405 freeway northbound at Wilmington Avenue, some large debris in the right lane. Looks like it just cleared. Traffic, though, is extra heavy approaching the area. Also on the 405 freeway southbound at Olympic Boulevard, accident right shoulder. 605 freeway southbound at Telegraph Road, earlier accident. 3 cars involved, just cleared to the shoulder, but traffic extra tough there. And northbound side, you may also see some delays. That's dependable traffic. I'm Richard Turnage, AM 790 KABC.
This Del Monte Veggieful Pocket Pies are pocket sandwiches that provide a delicious and unexpected way to eat vegetables. Baked to perfection in a golden crust made with cauliflower, Veggieful Pocket Pies are filled with nutritious vegetables and real cheese. Convenient and better for you. Just heat and eat. These wholesome meatless snacks come in 4 exciting flavors with 1 serving of veggies and 9 to 11 grams of protein per pocket pie. Get Veggieful Pocket Pies at your local Rayleigh's.
You know that sweet spot where comfy and cute meet? That's Lou & Grey, a so crazy soft collection from Loft. You'll want to live in our cult favorite signature soft sweats and easy wear everywhere styles, whether you're working from home or out and about. They'll give you all the feels. Plus, get an extra 15% off your Lou & Grey purchase when you visit loft.com/allthefeels. See site for details. Offer valid from 3/10 to 4/10/2021. Void where prohibited.
You've only had an appetizer. This is your Friday night at the French Laundry with Chef Oren Heatley, Maitre d' Mike Netter, and head cashier Randy Economy.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Friday Nights in the French Laundry. We're going to get to Angela Marston in a second. In fact, we have 2 friends she made on the Recall road trip. First off, Angela, how you doing, Angela? Hello.
Doing pretty good. I'm so excited because I've never been able to actually go to the French Laundry. So I feel like this is my first French Laundry experience. So.
Well, I got to tell you something. I was at your restaurant yesterday. The real restaurant, by the way, is the Pineapple Grill. And you have an amazing menu there. And I mean that sincerely.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. We've had it since 1978, and we've updated it and put some newer items, but we're very proud of it. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Angela, I'm going to go to Magdalena real quick here, and then because I want to give you plenty of time to talk on the air. Magdalena?
Okay. Hi, guys. I get a quickie?
Yep, ready for a quickie.
Hi, Angelina. Hi. Listen, I have a question. How much money do you guys need to raise we got the signatures, but in terms of raising money for the campaign, how much money you need, how much do you have raised already?
Well, we've only raised to date for the whole campaign about $1 million, which sounds like a lot, but we're down below 200,000 right now with bills to pay. The reality is not how much we need to raise. The more we raise, the more we can push the yes. We'd like to raise another $1.5 million, $2 to simply push the state, the yes vote on recalling Gavin. The more we raise, the better the chance of getting a yes.
Well, the bad news, I don't have $1.2 million. The good news, I'll get what I can.
We appreciate that. We'll talk to you soon. By the way, these are all people that you guys met up in San Francisco, right, Angela?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. What an experience that was, huh?
Sorry about that. I'm sorry about the break-in with the car. That's horrible. I felt really bad about that.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I was a little shocked, to say the least. And then poor Lucky getting his suitcase stolen. It was like 2 crimes in 12 hours, and nobody cared.
Welcome to San Francisco. Welcome to the what I call the criminal's paradise.
I've been living there almost 41 years, and I'm ashamed of the city right now. What's going on? So you're not alone with that.
Wow, I feel for you guys. Geesh, it's crazy.
I know,
man.
Magdalena, thank you very much. Okay. Tim, we'll get to you in a few minutes. Angela, tell us a little bit what started you on the journey, not the journey to San Francisco where your car broke into, but the journey, what kind of got you started into becoming, shall we say, a political advocate for small businesses in general, and what your vision is?
Yeah, well, I've owned my small business for 10 years, and obviously, like everybody else, COVID hit hard, especially owning a local pub. And, throughout everything, I, like everybody else, was trying to do everything right because I'm obviously worried about my patrons that come in and their safety and their health. And, I think it's everything, everything changing. Like, we're doing all we can. We're getting no help. And in the last minute, there's a change. Then you're closed. Then you're open. And in the process of that, I'm listening to my fellow business owners come in and tell me that they're going under. They're not going to make it. I'm on the verge of going under. And then obviously the video went viral. Newsom shut us down 2 days before Thanksgiving. I saw my first profit of the entire year in October. He shuts us down for outside right before the holidays with 2 days notice. And then my video that I made was out of frustration because I came in to give last, paychecks and groceries to my staff, and there's a 200-person tent with a catering truck in my very parking lot next to my tent, and I just lost it. I broke down. I lost it, and I honestly had no idea that the video would go viral because I'm not very good at social media. I just had to tell my neighbors and had to tell the people around me why I was starting to speak out and why I was starting to say what I was saying, and the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy is insane to me. It's like, it really is, like I said, like, a punch in the gut or a slap in the face. And then he's smiling every time he talks. It's almost like he's laughing at you while he's doing it. Yeah. So my video went viral, and, ever since then, I found the recall. I jumped on board. I put everything I could behind it, doing all I can for the small businesses. I have a lot of friends that own bars that still are not even open. They've been shut for a year because they don't have food. And I just felt a calling to, really throw everything I have into my community and to speak as much as I can for the small businesses out there because I feel like we're lost. And we get lost.
Angela, this is Randy. I want to just let you know that I have such a love relationship with you. I just think you're such a powerful voice, and believe it or not, it's you. It's the people like you. It's the Angela Marsdens of the world who should be running for public office as well, whether it be for a city council seat or a school board seat. Out of this movement that we have been able to create with these 2.2 million people that are right there with us. Many of them have never been involved in anything in politics before. But I got to tell you, you would be a phenomenal elected official.
Totally agree, Randy. This is Eric here, and I don't know Angela. Angela, I saw that video the day it came out on my social media feed. You blew me away, and I'm not surprised with everything that came out of it. And I'm so glad you got involved with this movement. And I totally agree with Randy. Angela, if you were on a school board or the city council or something, you could, the change you could make and the things you could do. This is one of the great things of this recall movement is that the real people, the only way to save this country is for the real people to get back in control and throw out the whole lot of these swamp dwellers. So really, that was amazing what you did, Angela. And
Angela, have you ever thought? Have you ever thought about entering public life or public office?
I will tell you. I think I spoke once when I was out with the recall because I really, really love this state and I really love the people with all my heart. And I grew up in Indiana. My mom worked in a bread factory her whole life, but she was able to provide a great home for me. She has a great retirement and a great life. And it's not fair that we don't have that here. And the middle class has been squeezed out. And so I regret having apathy. And I had to own up one day and look in the mirror and go, you were one of those people that didn't get involved. Your apathy.
Future of America right here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Angela, you should really think about maybe running for state assembly next year.
Yes.
I don't know what the lines are going to look like, but I'll tell you would have.
I truly am thinking. I've had a lot of people ask, and I know this sounds really cheesy, but I was like, all right, God, if this is what I meant to do, I will do it with all my heart and all my passion.
Not cheesy. That's not cheesy. That's the way we get back this state, and that's the way we get back this country.
That's how we do
it. And
it's
going to happen.
Wow. I got goosebumps. Yeah. Angela, I got goosebumps right now.
Angela's one of the few people that really does give me goosebumps in terms of her passion is true. Angela, I'm going to say this on the air. You're smart, you're articulate, but most importantly is that you've really got the passion for your vision for the small business. And I'm so tired in this state of, the big businesses pretending they're liberal. We're going to allow, of course, Walmart to stay open and you can go buy groceries there. We're going to allow the big supermarkets to stay open because COVID apparently doesn't shop in really big places. And of course, COVID apparently not bothered by McDonald's because it doesn't do drive-thrus, but we have to shut down businesses like yours. And I don't even understand the logic behind it.
Mike, I'm going to tell you, this is going to maybe be a little step too far, but not for me because I'm very passionate about this. And I truly feel that the politicians in this state have treated the small businesses like battered wife syndrome. Yep. They're there to pretend like they love you. And then the second they get in office, they sell you out to big business. And that is not what California is about. That is just not what the people of this city and this state have ever been about, ever. And they need to be called on it because they literally are letting the corporations and the big companies come in and squash us. And not only are they letting them, but they are enabling them by the policies that they're doing to us. And they sell it on the guise of helping everybody. But in actuality, it's literally putting out all the small businesses and the middle class. And so there's no opportunity for the middle class to own a nice little restaurant and own a home and put their kids in a good school and they can feel safe because there's no homeless. Like they are literally going to make us extinct in California. It's going to be all corporate owned.
If the worm's going to turn, Angela, because of people just like you. You're incredible.
Not to mention, you're absolutely beautiful also. I think you're stunning.
I don't know. When you see yourself on camera, you're like, oh, wow.
But aren't you getting tired of seeing
yourself? Pounds, baby.
But aren't you getting tired of seeing yourself on TV?
I don't even watch it. I don't watch it at all. I don't look at it. I don't even know,
You were great on Hannity this week. You were fantastic.
Oh, my gosh. I just don't watch it at all.
Angela.
I just
smart.
Yeah. can't do that.
You are amazing.
But I do.
Go ahead.
I know Mike and I talked about finding someone with a vision, that has a plan for small businesses, and, I have some ideas, but we really got to get somebody else in, and we got to get somebody else in not just to get Gavin out, but somebody that cares and has heart and has a plan that they tell us, this is what I'm going to do, and they follow through.
Angela, absolutely. In the minute we have left on the air, I want to tell everybody and kind of my personal experience. I want you guys to think about this out there. Have you ever walked into McDonald's and felt a warm and fuzzy feeling?
Yes.
No.
By the fire department.
When you walk into Angela's Pineapple Grill, and I'm sincere, Angela, it warms your heart. From the wood on the wall to the menu to the service that you get. And that's really what small business is about. And that's what Gavin Newsom is trying to crush. Angela, in the 30 seconds I got left, remember, it's Pineapple Grill. Tell them where you are. Well, she's on hold. Friday nights at the French Laundry. Up and down the coast, 1-800-222-5222.
Picture this, it was not that vacant, like 100 peeps or more. How could I forget that I had Bandolindo gatherings? Just a prime example of a really big hypocrisy. You don't understand, we're not like other creatures. Rules do not apply to us, we are the leaders. Borders can't be trusted to be indoor eaters. They are more contagious after all, they're mouth breathers. Just tell them it's important to follow all the law. How any violation might kill a grandma. Why you do what you want.
Get it right.
KABC News at 8 o'clock. I'm Sharon Reardon. Happy Friday. Los Angeles health officials are expecting a rush of COVID vaccines starting this Thursday, April 1st.
That's the first day anyone 50 and up can get a vaccination. Getting an appointment for a shot will be initially difficult due to continued scarcity of vaccine supplies, but officials insist the situation will improve. The county is set to receive a massive allotment of vaccines, over 338,000 doses. Tens of thousands more will be sent directly to other local vaccination providers like pharmacies. Kevin Tripp, KABC News.
Republican senators today released shocking pictures of migrants and children packed into border facilities as they slammed what they call a border crisis of President Biden's creation. Texas Senator John Cornyn.
But they're being overwhelmed by sheer numbers. And the smugglers and the cartels are doing this on purpose because they know getting paid by the head for as many people as they can get into the country.
The 19-person delegation, led by Texas Senators Ted Cruz and Cornyn, toured a facility in Donna where the facility was designed for 250 migrants. It had nearly 4,000. And Florida may push back against the CDC, which has extended its no-sale order for the cruise industry. Attorney General Ashley Moody participated in a cruise industry roundtable at Port Canaveral.
When you're sitting among a folks that has been idle for this long, under orders that we cannot see in the foreseeable future that are going to allow us to get back to work, we've got to start examining some very serious options.
The no-sale order was extended until November 1st. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who also spoke at the roundtable, called on the feds to lift the no-sale order by June 1st. KABC Sports. The Trojans take on Oregon Sunday night in the Sweet 16. You can hear that game right here. Coverage begins at 6:30, and that's sports on the home of the USC Trojans. The markets closed in the green. The Dow shot up 453 points. NASDAQ picked up 161, and the S&P 500 gained 65. KABC SoCal weather. Mostly clear skies tonight, a bit chilly, lows in the mid-40s to around 50. Sunny and warm tomorrow, with highs in the upper 60s to around 70 at the beaches, 70s to the low 80s for the inland and valley areas. Currently, it's 59 degrees in Placentia, 57 in Pasadena, and it's 55 degrees in Playa del Rey. The new KABC.com has stories that you'll want to share, curated for you fair and honest. Check it out, KABC.com. Now let's get a quick check on your SoCal traffic.
Southern California's undisputed talk leader, KABC, Los Angeles, Orange County, a Cumulus station.
KABC dependable traffic right now. Northern San Fernando Valley 118 freeway eastbound, just west of the 405 freeway interchange, a crash. Reported to be a non-injury crash, but this just happened. It looks like the right lane is blocked. That's 118 eastbound at the 405. If you're heading that way, watch out for possible sudden slowing there. 605 freeway northbound at the 91 freeway interchange. Ramp closed due to a crash, and traffic northbound 605 really starting to slow there. 210 freeway eastbound at Mountain Avenue, accident right shoulder. That's dependable traffic. I'm Richard Turnage, AM 790 KABC.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Support of information from RecallGavin2020.com in a tasty, non-caloric, gluten-free bite. It's Friday night at the French Laundry with Chef Oren Heatley, maitre d' Mike Netter, and head cashier Randy Economy.
Welcome back, everybody, to our virtual restaurant of California politics with the main entree, as always, the recall of Gavin Newsom. Listen, we've got another hour left, and we're going to get you fired up about reasons to recall Gavin and possible breaking scandals that we're going to talk about. And we want you to call in at 1-800-222-5222. So far on the show tonight, you've heard from a patriot who's running against Maxine Waters, has been good to the recall. You heard from a small business owner who's gone viral simply because she's frustrated. We want to hear why you want Gavin out of office, and we're going to give you probably some more reasons to continue to support the recall. Before we get there, though, I want to go to our... Tim, I'm laughing. That says Wilshire Warrior. He's the wheelchair warrior.
Wheelchair warrior. He's on wheelchair
Tim,
now?
the wheel special ops. Tim, how the heck are you?
Is he on wheelchair?
Doing pretty good. So, yeah, I am the wheelchair warrior. And what else do you call me, Mike?
Well, it said the Wilshire Warrior on my screen.
Well, you called me what, special ops as well?
You are special ops. Tim is the one that does all our graphics that you see floating around. Tim is an amazing person. Tim, for those who haven't heard, the story of how you signed the first recall is what makes you a legend in the recall business.
Wow. So, yeah, I ended up pushing my wheelchair 11 miles to sign one piece of paper.
And why was that, Tim?
Well, they kept on moving locations on me.
Well, besides that, Tim, we were trying to avoid you. No, I'm kidding. What really motivates you so much against Gavin?
Wow, so the gas tax. Okay, so there's one of them, as well as the vehicle registration being the highest in the nation. But, I mean, these taxes are supposed to go toward our roads and sidewalks. And I actually ride my wheelchair on the roads because, well, they're a little less bumpy than the sidewalks. But, gosh, these roads definitely need a lot of improvement. AB5 was another one that I got on board with. Because, a lot of my friends, were leaving California because, some of them are musicians, others are truck drivers, and this definitely took a toll on, their business and industries.
And, Tim, it's kind of, for a lot of people, it's pretty difficult to get a regular 8-to-5 job with a contract if you want to do some side contracting. If in your situation or another situation, and AB5 makes that kind of impossible legally, right?
Oh, yeah.
That AB5 was a disaster brought upon this state. The full effects still aren't known. Gavin Newsom signed off on killing hundreds of thousands of independent contractor, freelancer, and gig worker jobs in this state. It's purely a far-left Democrat bill. Republicans get in office, we'll do whatever we can to repeal that sucker and get those jobs back. We almost lost, Uber and Lyft over the whole thing. They had one step out the door. That's a whole other story.
It's interesting when we talk about conspiracies, Tim. Hold 1 second here.
Yeah.
Mr. Early, as an attorney, may I ask you a question?
Go for it, Mr.
Who authored AB5?
Well, the author was it was sponsored by a slob from San Diego named Lorena Gonzalez, who's bought and paid for by the public employees unions. And why did the public employees unions put all its money behind it? Because they wanted to get all of the independent contractors classified as union workers to start paying millions and millions of dollars of union dues, and in the process, they killed off so many of the jobs, from truckers to folks in the entertainment industry, many nursing jobs, jobs that Tim was talking about. And so many of those jobs cannot be classified as employee jobs. It was a disaster, and it's Exhibit A of the arrogance that's going to take this Ken doll and send him back.
And Lorena Gonzalez, she's married to Supervisor Nathan Fletcher.
Nathan Fletcher,
who came out with several months ago, came out on this bizarre media press event with the Rusty Hicks from the California Democratic Party, and Mr. Nathan Fletcher came out and said that Orrin Heatley, Mike Netter, and Randy Economy, and everybody at the recall campaign are organizing a political coup.
Nathan Fletcher's the worst example of somebody in the swamp. He started off as quote-unquote a Republican. He wasn't going anywhere. He thought his only way to win anything in the state was to be a Democrat. So he just switches to be a Democrat, and then he marries this up-and-coming, political hack named Lorena Gonzalez. He is the worst of the worst.
He's horrible. He's just like my Assemblyman Chad Mays.
And what's really interesting, when we had Kevin Kiley on last week, Lorena Gonzalez, who authored AB 5, Tim, that's one of the things that ticked you off, also controls the state legislature in terms of bills getting out of committee. So this gang of Democrats, it's beyond Gavin Newsom, who are now ranting and raving against the people of California, this gang of Democrats who put in AB 5, and I wonder why Lorena Gonzalez never changed her last name to Fletcher. I'll put that down.
I think she has a hyphen now. I think she's got a hyphen.
I'm sure she's got a lot of hyphens.
Let me give you another example of how bad this AB 5 is. So many small businesses out there, and this dovetails with so much of what we've been saying today. So many small businesses out there can't afford to pay for a full-time employee and all of the payments that have to be made. So they hire somebody as an independent contractor. This bill forced them to reclassify these folks as employees. Many of the small businesses couldn't afford to do that, and so they went out of business. They couldn't afford to do it. Or if they kept the person on as an independent contractor, then they started getting sanctioned and fined by these brown shirts in the Newsom administration. They do not care about entrepreneurs. They treat business and job creators as if they're evil in this state, and it's one of the things that will change.
Well, and as all these businesses are closing down, there goes tax revenue for the state.
Exactly, Tim.
Then you got people leaving the state, so there's no more investment in their homes here in California. So there goes those taxes as well.
So the things that basically, the reason I wanted you to getting your story out, Tim, is the things that ticked you off were really pre-COVID and still exist today. These aren't things that Gavin is making go away.
No, he's far from not making it go away. No, we need more people like, as you guys were talking with Angela Marsden, if you watched her video, she was caring more about her employees versus herself, especially, right around the holiday season.
Exactly right.
We need more people like Angela in office.
Right.
Exactly right. Tim, thank you for all the amazing graphics you put out each week. I compliment you all the time, but the things you see, our town hall on Wednesday night, the graphics we put up for the radio show, Tim's Special Ops, who does an amazing job just really helping us publicize the cause. And again, Tim's just a volunteer like we all are, and part of the people. Yeah. God bless you, dude. Anything else you want to end with while we got a couple minutes here? Speak up now, brother.
Don't call me late for dinner next time, all right?
Yeah, what's up with that, Mike?
Hey, he knows we have... Look.
I didn't do it.
Let me tell you something.
It wasn't me.
Tim, who did the graphics for the show?
Tim.
All right.
Who knew when the guests were coming on?
Tim.
Well, Eric, I look forward to your Thai food.
Thanks, change the subject.
We're munching on it now. It's quite good. Wish you could get over here.
God bless you, Tim. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
I love that guy.
Tim's amazing.
I want to be Tim when I grow up.
We got 2 minutes left, and I want to start with a headline here that everybody's been waiting to hear about a brewing scandal.
Oh, no.
Are you guys ready for the headline?
I better not be the one I think it is.
Bring it on.
Another $282 million in no-bid pandemic contracts to major Newsom contributor United Health. Now, I know some of you out there are thinking, huh? But listen to me. Of all the static and everything you hear around, I want to go into some of these subjects. Because what happens that people do in their private lives that the press diverts you with, and I'm not going anywhere, those don't get used to that. But I'm telling you, don't get distracted by shiny objects. What the press in Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Francisco needs to start really pounding and pulling back the onion on are the things Gavin Newsom is doing, which border on illegal if they're not already. He's distracting us with shiny objects in the recall. Here's the reality. We have to take California back, and there's a lot of reasons. It's not because of our political party. Don't believe anything Gavin says, but we want to tell you this. We have to take California back, and we're going to dive in the rest of this hour into those subjects. Please call in. We might put you on the air at 1-800-222-5222. It's Friday nights at the French Laundry all the way across California from the international border up to Oregon.
I thought you ordered all the restaurants to close. Man, I don't know what to do. Just say it wasn't you. All right. Voter came in and they caught me red-handed eating at the place next door. Were there a lot of people there? Picture this, it was not that vacant, like 100 peeps or more. How could I forget that I had Vandalindo gatherings? Just a prime example of a really big hypocrisy. You don't understand, we're not like other creatures. Rules do not apply to us, we are the leaders. Voters can't be trusted to be indoor eaters. They are more contagious after all, they're mouth breathers. Just tell them it's important to follow all the law.
KABC dependable traffic right now. 118 freeway eastbound, just east of the 405 freeway interchange. Accident there, 2 right lanes blocked. CHP on scene. Going to be out there a while. CHP just issuing a SIG alert. So watch for slowing there. Eastbound 118, northern San Fernando Valley. Also in South Los Angeles, 110 freeway southbound at the 105 freeway interchange. A crash in the fast track lanes, and it's slowing traffic in all lanes southbound side of the 110 freeway. 605 freeway northbound connected to the 91 eastbound. Ramp is shut down due to a crash there. That's dependable traffic. I'm Richard Turnage, AM 790 KABC.
The IR.
Del Monte Veggieful Pocket Pies are pocket sandwiches that provide a delicious and unexpected way to eat vegetables. Baked to perfection in a golden crust made with cauliflower, Veggieful Pocket Pies are filled with nutritious vegetables and real cheese. Convenient and better for you. Just heat and eat. These wholesome meatless snacks come in 4 exciting flavors with 1 serving of veggies and 9 to 11 grams of protein per pocket pie. Get Veggieful Pocket Pies at your local Rayleigh's.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like Taylor Swift choosing what to wear.
It's looking kind of chilly out today. I think I'll go with a cardigan.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
You've only had an appetizer. This is your Friday night at the French Laundry with Chef Orrin Heatley, maitre d' Mike Netter, and head cashier Randy Economy.
Welcome back, everybody, to our virtual restaurant where the entree is the recall of Gavin Newsom. You know, I don't know about you guys, but Gavin must really like the sound of his own voice because he sure spends a lot of time talking to himself. Have you ever noticed you don't see Gavin engaging in a conversation. I want you to really think about that.
He doesn't know how to talk in conversation. He talks in sound bites.
Well, he talks.
Low
Some of the
intelligence.
sound bites are horrible. What did you do this week, Randy?
All right. So anyway, we're sitting here yesterday.
We were?
Well, I was sitting here yesterday somewhere in Southern California, and I'm talking, figuratively. I was sitting figuratively. That's a big statement.
I understand that. I'm amazed
All right.
you
So
don't work
anyway,
that big.
Gavin holds a press conference at Altamed, which is a big campaign donor in Orange County, and they're talking about his 100 million shots in the arm, or 5 million, or how many people he's vaccinated and stuff. And quickly, the reporters start talking about the recall.
Shocking.
Starts talking about the recall, and he starts going off. It's like he's lost his marbles. Because you don't go to a planned press conference of Governor Newsom and talk about a reporter talking about the recall. They yanked him off the stage so fast after about the third question about the recall. It was hilarious. Yeah, that's what they did. Right off, stage left. As soon as they can go. Ran out as fast as they can. But here's the funny thing. He starts going off on all of these really weird conspiratorial things like, we're members of this organization and we're part of that peer group, and we want to inject things into people. Now he's saying we want to inject labels into people. Well, how do you inject a label into somebody?
He is clueless.
He's out of his mind, this
guy. He has no idea why the people have risen up against him. He is clueless.
So he does this at a press conference, and he realizes that he'd gone a little tad too far. And then, of course, his handler in the back room goes, "That was the last question. We must leave right now. That was the last question. We will take no more questions. Thank you very much." And he walked out of there with his head between his knees.
The amazing thing...
We live rent-free in this guy's head.
Well, yeah, we are living rent-free in his head, but I got to be honest with you, he's got a lot of space up there.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I think he
But
does.
you
I
know
don't know
what?
what...
Let's still talk about the hair. The hair is flawless.
I admit,
Beautiful.
The
Beautiful hair.
outsider's
He's a
good.
beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
Ken doll.
Beautiful man.
The reality is, for everybody out there who we keep saying, Gavin Newsom, I don't think you engage with the people because, frankly, I don't know that you know how. I don't think you engage with members of your own legislature because I don't think you know
Well, he's
how.
never in Sacramento. How can you engage with your lawmakers in Sacramento if you're never there?
A serious question. And by the way, for anybody out there, if you want to look up a great interview,
Yes.
Adam Carolla.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and Gavin Newsom before he was live. Have you ever seen this, Eric?
It's hilarious.
Oh my God, it's
like-
hilarious.
it's
on
hysterical.
Adam Carolla's podcast.
Yeah.
It's before Gavin was elected governor. He actually asked Gavin, "Are you sitting down? Can I have a drum roll, please, from the sound effect?" That was a cue. I got a finger. Okay, can I have a drum roll, please? Never mind. That's too late. My story's taking too long. He actually asked Gavin, thank you, sir, to explain something. And Carolla just sits back there and asks him a question about every 30 seconds. It's the only time I've seen Gavin interviewed. You got to look it up. Out there, if you want to find
We should put that on our website.
Well, I think we may actually bring it
RecallGavin2020.com.
on next week. Take a note. Gavin Newsom has, again, never not only had it been challenged for everything, but apparently the art of conversation seems to be a challenge.
Well,
for
guys,
him.
this is what I was alluding to earlier, and it's one of the most beautiful things, or there's so many beautiful things about this magic that you and all the great people of California are creating here, is that Newsom, like all of these Democrat elected officials in our state, and that included, who's the one who's now our vice president, Kamala Harris, included Becerra, included
Kamala.
Jessica
Her name is Kamala.
The mainstream
Kamala.
media have taken their chosen Democrat, their select Democrat, and let them do a glide path right into office. They've never had to face the music. And now suddenly, thanks to this great recall movement and 2.2 million great Californians, Gavin Newsom is having to answer actual questions. He cannot handle it.
Let's go to. I think we've got a clip.
Wait,
we found a
have
clip.
We have a blast from the past. You're going to upset my. We're going to let Angela stay on hold. Let's hear a few clips
Your
from
husband
this.
lost his job. That's why you need to sock away some money when he's gainfully employed. Yes, they foreclosed on your home. That's why you need to have a network, a community, friends, family members, money put away.
I got it, but think about
Don't
Adam,
have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a check
What's
cashing.
wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
Why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is check cashing places.
But I want to
and
know
these
why
payday
those
lenders
groups,
taking
why
advantage.
those two groups don't have access.
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that we can
So
talk
they're
about.
flawed?
Clueless.
No,
He's
they're
got
hardly
no
flawed,
answer.
but
He's
they're
nuts.
genetically
And made up the
flawed.
facts to
Hardly.
begin with.
Not
What about the Greeks?
hardly.
How come the Greeks
but
don't have anything?
do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so
I just,
that's not just black and Hispanic.
no, but I'm
why'd you
giving
bring up black and Hispanic?
because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the
That's
magnitude.
the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to
There are
them?
a lot of issues.
I won't be able to do the
Exactly
rest
as
of the show.
described it. He's clueless. Some handler gave him some quote unquote facts that are probably false facts. He said them. Corolla forced him on the issue, and he's sitting there just repeating himself like the idiot that he is.
So what Gavin Newsom basically said, and that, folks, was an actual interview that you should look up, and we may even post it on our website.
That's got to be a commercial. That's got to be a commercial. We got to make that into a commercial.
We may make it into a commercial. Gavin Newsom says a lot about the people starting the recall, and he's wrong.
Yeah.
But I want everybody out there of all colors, all creeds, all diversities to think of what Gavin, when he rarely has a conversation, says about you. What he really believes. Gavin Newsom doesn't believe that small business owners are capable of taking care of themselves. Gavin Newsom doesn't believe that communities of color could open a checking account. They don't have access to banks. Seriously, Gavin? More importantly, Gavin doesn't want us to believe that we are watching, again, from what I quoted before, for the break or after the break. I don't even remember now. Another $282 million in no-bid pandemic contracts to major Newsom contributor United Health.
Huge issue.
I mean, I want you to really think about this.
Well, the big two words there are no bid and the number.
Everything he does is no bid because he's under a pandemic and he can change rules.
Well, that's true.
He changed the
in
rules,
the state
Eric.
of California, there is a requirement that those kind of contracts have to be sent out for public bidding. So vendors all around the state of California and in other parts of the country can make bids to get the best deal for the state to prevent Gavin Newsom and whoever's handing out these no-bid contracts for giving them to friends and who knows what kind of, backroom deals are going on.
Well, how about
he has been doing this over and over again with these no-bid contracts, billions now. They have to be investigated by our next attorney
This
general.
is what I want to know. And I'm challenging Gavin Newsom right now, buddy, like it or not. I want you to disclose every single person's name who was at the French Laundry dinner with you that night.
That's
great.
I want every name, Gavin. I'm going to go on every TV show I can this weekend, radio show, and demand that he disclose every single person's name that was at that birthday party.
You know, and Eric brings up a really good point. What I don't understand here, okay? And Scott Rod, I want to hand it to him. He's a shy reporter, if you will, but a damn good one. He's written a number of articles for Cap Radio, which is part of NPR, about this continuous stuff. Mainstream press catch on. If you want to report something, don't report a Gavin, whether you like it or not, soundbite beating up the recall. Why don't you dive into this? But I got a question for you in the mainstream media.
Uh-oh.
Okay, a real good question, and I'm going to shoot to Eric here in a second. But how come Xavier Becerra, who's now been promoted to Washington, we now have a new attorney general that's been anointed? How come? And Eric, what would you do if I tomorrow waved the wand like Gavin could do and made you attorney general? How would you look into all these contracts that are out-and-out donors of his that are getting awarded without bids?
Listen, a real attorney general who's working for the people of the state of California and who's not a backroom friend of Gavin Newsom's, which is what this guy he nominated is, and I'll talk about him. He's just another
backroom or back door.
Well, Randy, I'm not going where you're going, bro. A real attorney general would be investigating immediately these no-bid contracts, who is involved in them, who's profiting from them, where this is our taxpayer money that Newsom spends as if it's his personal piggy bank. Who's getting profit? Who's profiting from it? How these deals are being done? A real attorney general in the state of California would be investigating where that $31 billion of our taxpayer money that was with the EDD, where that went, who stole it, and prosecute those who are involved in that.
EDD.
And so, listen, I could go on and on, but this guy that Newsom has nominated, Bonta, and he's going to get, voted right in because of what I call up there the Politburo. It's one-party rule up there, supermajority Democrats. This guy is another George Gascon. He is bad news. In fact, Gascon got up and down clapping and sending out press releases the minute the guy got offered the job.
I don't know if it's a sure deal or not, because there's a movement inside the California Democratic Party hierarchy to go after Bonta now.
Is that right?
There absolutely is. So I don't think this guy I don't think it's a slam dunk for him at all.
What's the story with that? What's the movement? Tell us.
It's been all over Facebook this week that there's certain caucuses within the Democratic Party who are trying to take the party and bring it back to sanity. So Rusty Hicks, who is the current chairman of the party, is facing a challenge as chairman in the next week. And you know who's challenging him to be chairman of the party? Delane Easton. Common sense, very nice lady, former superintendent of schools.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to see the Democrat Party in this state bring that party back to some sort of sanity? Good luck to them. But right now, this guy Bonta is bad.
He's bad news.
And I want you to social justice warrior. Crime will continue to rise. This is the chief legal officer, chief law enforcement officer of the state of California. He's got no respect for our brave men and women of law enforcement. We got to have an attorney general again who respects and supports law enforcement. We haven't had that in years and years in this state. And I could go on and on.
And I'm so tired of this label politics. It's like all of a sudden this week it was all about him being the first Filipino American to be something in California. Mm-hmm. I find that so offensive to my friends who are Filipino Americans who have worked their behinds off to be successful in politics.
I'm
tired of it.
I'm not only sick of that before we roll the rake, but I'm really sick. What got me started on this recall wasn't to call a lot of people names. I'm kind of with Tim. And Angela, we'll get to you after the break, what happens if Gavin resigns. But let me tell you something here. What I'm sick of is not knowing where my damn money goes that I pay in taxes. What I'm sick of is having a governor, we're going to go into more of that after the break, that apparently picks our state officials and can't tell us how we can possibly award contracts for a vaccine distribution that could be at upwards of $1 billion to his biggest donors because we don't have time to do
why
a
we're
bid.
paying the highest
All right,
taxes in the
we got to
nation.
roll the break. It's Friday nights, the French Laundry, up and down the coast. 1-800-222-5222. I suggest you call me or let me rant more.
Right.
Picture this, it was not that vacant, like 100 peeps or more. How could I forget that I had Bandolindo gathering?
AM 790.
KABC News at 8:30. I'm Sharon Reardon. Happy Friday. Orange County will open another major vaccination site at the fairgrounds in Costa Mesa next Wednesday. Supervisor Katrina Foley says it will have extended hours for people who work or can't take a day off. She says the site will also have walk-up and drive-through appointments, and they're aiming to have a no-appointment option as well. Gasoline prices have gone up for the third straight day.
The average price of a gallon of self-serve regular gasoline in L.A. County rose a half cent today to just under $4, increasing by 0.4 cents in each of the previous 2 days. Now, the average price is at its highest amount since November 21st, 2019. AAA and Oil Price Information Service reports it's a penny and a half more than it was a week ago, 21.5 cents higher than a month ago, and about 80 cents greater than a year ago. The average price has risen 70.5 cents since the start of the year. Jim Roop, KABC News.
The last two residents of an Echo Park Lake homeless encampment were arrested and removed from the park earlier today. The LAPD says 182 people were arrested for failure to disperse during last night's protests. The markets closed in the green. The Dow went up by 453 points. NASDAQ picked up 161 and the S&P 500 gained 65. KABC SoCal weather, clear skies tonight, lows in the mid-40s to around 50. Sunny tomorrow and warm with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s at the beaches, 70s to 80s for the inland and valley areas. Currently, it's 58 degrees in Orange, 57 in Encino, and it's 55 degrees in El Segundo. The 25K weekday payday is back on 790 KABC starting Thursday. Listen every hour weekdays between 8 a.m. and 5:30 for your shot at $100 and possibly $25,000 right here on 790 KABC. Traffic is next, and then more Friday night at the French Laundry.
KABC dependable traffic right now. 605 freeway southbound at Alundra Boulevard. Crash. Cars involved now right shoulder. Traffic, though, getting a little bit extra heavy through that stretch. Just reported a crash. 10 freeway westbound at Kellogg Drive on the right side of the freeway. Major wreck in the northern San Bernardino Valley. 118 freeway eastbound at the 405 connector. Crash with 2 right lanes blocked and traffic getting very heavy on that eastbound side. Westbound, you may also see delays. And on the 110 freeway southbound at the 105 freeway interchange, fast track lanes blocked by a multi-car crash. Traffic is slowing southbound 110 into South Los Angeles in all traffic lanes. That's dependable traffic. I'm Richard Turnage, AM 790 KABC.
You're the MVP of yelling at the TV. Time for Screamin' Sicilian, the frozen premium craft pizza with the mustache. It's got mo toppings, mo mozzarella, mo buttery stone-fired crust, and a mo on the box. Screamin' Sicilian pizza. The mo, the better.
Del Monte Veggieful Pocket Pies are pocket sandwiches that provide a delicious and unexpected way to eat vegetables. Baked to perfection in a golden crust made with cauliflower, Veggieful Pocket Pies are filled with nutritious vegetables and real cheese. Convenient and better for you. Just heat and eat. These wholesome meatless snacks come in 4 exciting flavors with 1 serving of veggies and 9 to 11 grams of protein per pocket pie. Get Veggieful Pocket Pies at your local Rayleigh's.
It's Friday night at the French Laundry. On the menu tonight, A Better California with Executive Chef Orrin Heatley, Maitre d' Mike Netter, and the wise cashier, Randy Economy.
Welcome back again, everybody, to our virtual restaurant. I want to remind everybody as we enter into this last half hour of a couple things. If you weren't listening at the beginning, shame on you. Your bill has just doubled. But if you weren't listening at the beginning, let me tell you this. Again, the verification part is until April 29th. We have 2.1 million turned in, over 1.1 million verified already. At April 29th, then they have another 30 to 60 days, probably more in the 30 range, to find the money. Probably take it from another pot. They have it stored in somewhere that maybe they stole, and I'm being blunt here. And then Shirley Weber, the Secretary of State, has to call a special election within 80 to 100 days. That date has to be set. So we're looking at late summer, early fall. It will happen. Now, Angela's on line 1, and you've got an interesting question. Welcome to our virtual restaurant, Angela.
Angela.
Thanks so much. I enjoy you guys so much. This is Angela from Riverside, and Randy Economy. I sent you a box full of bottle toppers. So that's
You did. Thank you so much. I love them. I love you, Angela. Thank you so much. I will disclose them publicly.
You're welcome. Super, super. So my question is, I heard this on a net or somewhere, and I think it was from somebody in D.C., that one of the options is to convince Gavin Newsom, which of course he won't do, to resign from the position before the recall so that our lieutenant governor could take that position. Yeah. He'll be a Democrat and take away our opportunity as a citizen of California to vote the guy out and get somebody better in. Is that a possibility? Well, it's a possibility, but what's the likelihood of it? And how would that would really tick me off because I've been out gathering signatures.
That would tick off a lot of California. First off, Angela, I'm going to put you on the spot on the air.
Sure.
Can you say the name of the lieutenant governor?
It's Eleni something, right?
That's good. That was good.
You got the Eleni right.
That was good.
She's one of my people. Greek.
Well, how do you say
okay.
Koulinakis.
Koulinakis. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Only thing we have in common.
And Angela, you got a good point here. If Newsom could actually stockpile up with it, and I'm glad you're asking this question because the point we're trying to drive to on this show, all right? Yes, it would tick us off. It's not just Gavin Newsom that the side running California, which happens to be the Democrats. It's basically, in my not so humble opinion, corrupt up and down the state. Gavin's a figurehead and a really bad one, and we have to get rid of him. But Koulanakas probably has her own skeletons in the closet, okay?
It's her family.
I know a few things there.
I know a few.
Oh, that's a whole other show. But you've got Lorena Gonzalez, again, and AB5, and Nathan Fletcher. And you've got this whole legislature which is allowing this corruption to happen. If Gavin resigns, he's going to have a real. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. No, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either.
But can you imagine the scandal which would have to erupt for him to say, whether you like it or not, you were right. I shouldn't have been governor.
If he pulls, because I've read it too. Let's put it this way: it's out there, and a lot of people are talking about it, and even Democrats are talking about it. And as much as he wants to deny the fact that he was ever going to even face this situation, now he's totally married and dedicated to the next 6 months trying to destroy Mike Netter and Orrin Heatley and Randy Economy and everybody else.
Angela.
And Angela. He's going to destroy you, Angela. He's coming after you, Angela. He's coming after you.
Angela, let me ask you a question. Again, would you like to have a conversation with Gavin Newsom?
I would.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What would you ask him? What would you ask him?
Get him on the phone.
What would you? Let's get him on the phone.
Gavin Newsom, my point is, doesn't have conversations. Gavin, you are welcome to call in this radio show.
No, I want him in here.
Angela.
I want him over in that chair right there.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Well, you know what really ticked me off to the very beginning that made me think something is absolutely wrong with this guy goes back to 2019 when he first took office and he revoked the death penalty.
Yeah.
I thought, wait a minute, did we not vote for that?
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
More arrogance. California voters, he throws the finger up at all of us.
Do you think he would? Do you think he would bring his hair gel that night?
I don't know.
Do you know which? I want to know what type of the guy. You got to admit, the guy has freaking amazing hair.
But and Angela, you've got a good point. That's one of the things that ticked me off. But again, it's not being for or against the death penalty, which people always say, here's the reality: we just voted it in,
right?
And he issued the first of what I could see was going to be a long line executive orders. Angela, I'd like you to ask Eric early a question, if you don't mind.
No, don't ask it.
No.
Not
if
that
Eric
question.
had been Attorney General when Gavin had done that, ask Eric what he would have done.
Well, it sounds like you've already asked the question for Angela, Mike. And listen, as Angela was alluding to, the people of the state of California voted for the death penalty. I support the death penalty. A governor comes in, throws his finger at the entire populace of the state and says, I'm getting rid of it. First of all, it was Exhibit A of the arrogance that has led to this recall. And as Attorney General, you take steps to uphold the will of the people and support the people who voted in that proposition supporting the death penalty. And frankly, that executive order that the Kendall signed could have been thrown out. And frankly, it still will be thrown out once we get rid of him, we get the proper people in office. So I'm glad you brought that up, Angela.
Yes, that was just the start of the red flags with him and seeing him. So, I'll stay behind you, and we'll go for it.
And by the way, thank you for the amazing gift. I was shocked.
What did she send you?
Gee, I can't say it was personal.
Apparently, I didn't share it with us.
I'm not going to share.
It
was sent to me. I'm not sharing it.
Angela, we hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Remember, continue to push recallgavin2020.com. Because, again, as your point, Gavin probably won't resign, but the scary part is we can't really trust, how do you say it, Koulanakas?
But that's the thing about executive orders, guys. They can, with the wave of a wand, enter an executive order, and with a wave of a wand, you can have it thrown right out.
And how corrupt is it getting right now?
Oh, it's incestuous.
And I mean, seriously, I mean, not only is
let's say they're just it's all politics, and the politicians all sleep with each other.
He's picking officials. I mean, the only thing I know about this Rob Bonta guy is that the day after my birthday, totally a coincidence,
Very
there was
upsetting.
a big feed on Twitter going out how he didn't even defend someone in his office against a sexual harassment claim. That was over a month and a half ago.
He's a progressive.
And they were this person was begging Gavin Newsom not to pick him as Attorney General.
He's progressive.
Well, progressive is code for socialist, which is code for communist. And listen, this guy Bonta, I read what Mike is speaking about. There's a woman in the office who worked in the legislature up there as somebody's assistant. She's been shouting to anybody who'll hear her that she was sexually abused by somebody up there. She was looking for Bonta, who apparently was in charge of that particular office. This is the guy that Newsom has nominated to be Attorney General of State. Bonta totally ignored her for months and months, and she's still shouting for somebody to look into this. And so, how does the chief legal officer of the state of California, if he gets, if he passes muster with the Politburo up there, how does the chief legal officer ignore something like that?
Yeah, that which brings me to another interesting question. The press is very rapid to cover. Well, at least they were, when the other guy was president. I'll leave his name out of it because I don't want to be accused of being a supporter of somebody else. But they want to cover these appointees in Congress. Press, I got a question for you. Bonta, if I know correctly, am I correct, Randy? Bonta has to be approved still by the legislature,
yes,
right?
Yes, it does.
May I ask our fabulous press out there, in a legislature with a supermajority, would you let both sides quiz Bonta on these questions before confirming him as Attorney General?
Do you know who I can hardly wait to have him question, is Kevin Kiley.
That's my point.
I hope he just grills him along with James.
Well, I want to see the press really start to talk about California. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's time. All of you out there on television,
James
LA
Gallagher.
Times, everywhere you go, we're the largest state in the union.
All you need to know about Bonta is BLM supports him.
Bonta.
BLM does not only want to defund police, their absolute agenda, and they admit it, even though the mainstream media doesn't want you to know it, is they want to abolish police. On the one hand, you have a group that wants to abolish police supporting the guy who's the chief law enforcement officer of the state of California.
Do you know
that is a problem?
And you know who Bonta's twin brother is? George Gascon.
Well,
the district attorney of Los Angeles. They've got to have the same DNA.
Story for
Gascon was more than happy. He came out praising the choice of Bonta. Bad news right there.
The whole thing